Yes, and at the end of the day, everything just starts with proper communication. One thing I've learned from our change manager in the company as well, it's better to over communicate than not
Mm-mm.
communicate at
Yes,
all.
yes.
And that's how we're going to ensure that there is a smooth and successful change in the IT space.
Welcome to Kaka Computer. So for this episode, we're gonna talk about dealing with organizational change in IT. So, hey guys, ano ba yung mga common organizational changes na na-experience nyo sa mga current company nyo or previous companies nyo?
Yeah, I guess I'll start. So my name is Athena. You can call me Atcha Abe. So I've been in the tech industry for 4 years, and when it comes to organizational change, I've been in a startup recruitment company in Australia, an edtech company in the Philippines, working multiple roles, and I'm currently working in the restaurant technology company in the United States. So during those experiences that I've gone through for the past 4 years, when it comes to organizational change, definitely a lot of culture changes that I was not aware that I have to adapt to, aside from being able to do my role in the tech space. So I guess it's also a good opportunity for me when I started working in a different country, I would say, in Australia, kasi we had any type of role there. You have an onboarding wherein you need to learn about their culture. Because as Filipinos, sanay kasi tayo na ma'am, sir, po at opo. And whenever we call someone, we say ate, kuya. Pag ibang kumpanya pala, kailangan first name basis. So you say their name like Athena or Acha. So those are the one of the main things na napansin ko when it comes to dealing with organizational change.
How about you, Rod?
Ah, sa akin siguro ano siya, one of the experience na about sa organizational change is yung flow niya. So parang kasi usually sa mga startup there's no really pattern on how you work as a team. So minsan yung mga startup kasi or kadalasan yung mga startup once na nag-grow na sila, nagkakaroon na ng shape na magkaroon ng system which dito na pumpasok yung mga agile, yeah, 'di ba? Yung mga software development cycle. Ngayon, doon na dapat as a software engineer or team sa isang company, you need to adapt how agile works. You need to know ano yung mga ceremonies like yung mga stand-up, yung mga retro, you need to know yung mga backlog grooming and so on and so on. So that's one of the things na very common na mga shift na nangyayari sa company.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll be summarizing things. I'm gonna reel everything back to the original question. No? Feeling ko ako yung pinakamatanda dito eh. I think if I'm gonna summarize yung mga common organizational changes sa IT, so there's always yung movement, people moving to a different role. That's another change that people have to bring in parang a different approach to doing things. There's also restructuring, really organizational change, and I think yung movement and restructuring a bit common. Movement more than restructuring. Something that's a bit rare, pero yung highest impact in terms of organizational change is process change. Kagaya ng sinabi mo, adopting agile or some other sort of ways of working. And then I think yun yung last na uncommon thing is yung pinaka-disruptive in my experience in terms of changes in an IT organization that they have to deal with. Because, people come and go, people get in and out. Movement is always there. Restructuring once in a while, yeah. But, changing how people do what is normal, huge impact. And that's the greatest challenge, I think, in terms of dealing with changes within an IT organization.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Merong mostly sa amin sa company namin, growing from a team of 6 to 200, process changes talaga. Sobrang dami. Almost every month meron kaming bagong process. Kaka-release lang
Every
namin
month?
kaka-release lang namin ng bagong process. Kailangan na namin siyang enhance ngayon. Kasi parang
Okay.
we're trying to improve it eh.
Ay, hindi naman
Oh.
drastic kasi pag akala ko parang bigla ko iba.
Yeah, merong
Improvement
mga, I
is
guess
good,
mga
welcome.
minor,
Well, yeah.
siguro quarterly merong major change. Monthly merong minor. And Second siguro, restructuring. So, as you can imagine, from 6, parang from a flat structure, medyo nagiging corporate, tapos magiging flat ulit. Maka-add kami ng mga middle managers. And then, eventually, we'll see na, okay, parang hindi nag-work, we'll have to remove. Parang, I think yun yung dalawang common. Process, saka yung,
Yeah.
yung organizational chart nyo na pabago-bago. Yun talaga, major every year.
Syempre.
Binabago namin yung,
Sureball yan.
yung organizational chart.
I think I think I'll second to that. I think one of the top changes din talaga I would agree on is restructuring. Kasi the company that I'm working for is buying companies. So there's definitely a lot of movements and shifting when it comes to not only adding people in the team but also removing people. So it's also in a general broad of sense, not only for the tech people but for the employees in general. Sometimes they don't feel secure and it makes them more anxious na, mapopromote ba ako o matatanggal ako? Kasi ang daming restructuring na nangyayari. So, this is also something that people should take into consideration, whether or not you're working for a startup company or a big corporation, is that these things are normal in a sense that, of course, they need to improve certain things and certain processes that involves removing and laying off people.
And dyan papasok yung next how do you communicate yung isang organizational change na it could be major or minor.
Okay. Reverse order. I'll go first.
Go.
Sige. Yun nga, at the end of the day, you're dealing with people. So you have to be humane. And yun nga, we have this sort of natural tendency to be kind of, it's hard to adopt change. We're kind of resistant to it. So very, very first, definitely have a sort of a supportive environment. You communicate early and often, really get everyone on board. And even making a major communication, a lot of things would fall off the cracks easily. Na talagang hand-holding, making sure that everybody's on board, everybody's like 100% into the potential and the possible changes coming in the near future, and everybody's aligned and everybody's in it together. If I'm gonna say one thing, really make the communication, consider the human behind that makes up the organization and cater to communicating the message for, make it as humane as possible.
Yeah, I think this also connects to the next part, which is as IT professionals, we have done our part in communicating. So how would be able to help these people build more resilience and adapt with these types of organizational shifts?
White Cloak Technologies is a custom software development company. They build mobile and web applications. They work with leading brands in banking and real estate. Visit their website at www.whitecloak.com to know more.
Siguro, tignan muna natin, ano ba yung mga possible reasons bakit nagkakaroon ng mga organizational change. So, yung isa sa mga part na bakit nagkakaroon ng organizational change is possibly yung company nyo is mabili na ng
sabi niya,
iba,
mga acquisitions.
Acquisitions. So, doon kasi papasok, pagka nabili na yung company nyo, doon na papasok na magkaroon na ng restructure or may karoon na ng bagong team. Tapos, nagkakaroon na ng mga changes and so on. So, pagdating naman sa communications, usually this one is actually responsible to ng mga leads. Leads, CTO, or kung sino man mga higher position. Kasi they are the ones who know first kung ano yung mangyayari dun sa company. And sila yung may responsibility to cascade yung mangyayaring changes dun sa company. So,
yeah, I would second that kasi I've seen that in person, the effect of the leads being able on how you're gonna manage, engage the restructuring. So the company that I'm working for is buying multiple companies, and what I like about how they move people is that since we have a different set of developers for point of sale system, loyalty programs, kasi we're trying to create a unified system. So what that means is I wouldn't say there's a negative connotation to restructuring, but there's also a good advantage wherein they give more growth. From point of sale developer, you go to a different program as a developer, so you upskill more in that sense whenever you build resilience and adaptability in that matter.
Okay. And I guess on the flip side, we can always look at things with rosy tint glasses. No, things are bound to fail. Change is hard, and I think this is something that everybody needs to understand. Change is really, really hard, and people will tend to fail.
Yes.
And I feel like I'm the oldest person in the room here. But you kind of need to recognize that organizations are made of people, of humans, and we do have like sort of different levels of certain adaptability or resiliency, ba. First and foremost, what we needed to understand is change is inevitable and it is hard and it's something that we really need to prepare for, and we need to be a bit more humane, which is also difficult because as a enterprise, you probably have pressures and deadlines and targets, diba? And those are the things that you kind of have to balance. And I feel like you can be structured and reasonable about it. There are things that you can learn. Maybe we'll touch upon that in a later episode about taking an MBA and learning how to manage things. But there are frameworks. There are processes. Change management is established, and I think that's kind of the driver behind why the discipline came up to be. Is because we recognize that this is very typical nga, and it's really part of all sorts of organizations, whether you're a company or NGO or a school. It's something you have to deal with. In summary, just really do your best. Good luck to everyone who's be dealing with changes anytime soon. And then just try to be human and make the sort of transition as give it a soft landing as much as possible as you can afford.
Yes, and at the end of the day, everything just starts with proper communication. One thing I've learned from our change manager in the company as well, it's better to over communicate than not communicate at
Yes,
all.
yes.
And that's how we're gonna ensure that there is a smooth and successful change in the IT space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Siguro to add lang din, parang in our company naman, the way we do communication and build resilience within the company, to navigate this parang ever-changing, dami namin binabago eh. I think, parang at first, it's really hard. Kasi, even though parang sobrang tinatry namin na gawing solid talaga yung communications, yung plan, there were still parang people na they would really get confused. Kasi parang, as leaders then parang, it's really hard to get your mind na parang makaka-capture mo lahat eh. So parang meron pa ring mga employees na nag-lag behind in terms of understanding yung change. So I think the way we mitigate that is really to ask for feedback.
Feedback loops.
Yun,
Yeah.
Parang we ask them, we know this is not a perfect process yet. Do you have any feedback? Maybe we can incorporate it. Ganyan. And I think yun yung first, really, try to get feedback dun sa every change that you will do, and communicating it properly. Yeah. And I think eventually, syempre dahil mong binabago, di ba? Masasanay na, I guess yun yung nangyari sa amin. Parang nasanay na talaga lahat na even yung HR namin, yung sales namin, even ako nung una pag may naisip yung CEO namin na bago na naman yan So I think yun lang, parang I think as organization, parang as you consistently doing itong mga change na to, and yun, you do it the agile way, like nagre-retrospective kayo on how would you improve yung next change. I think eventually you'll build this culture na it's now easy to change something. And hindi siya, of course, hindi yan parang 100% ng lahat ng employees mo, you'll get their buy-in every change. Meron pa rin yung magiging mga against it.
Yes.
Fallouts. Just take their feedback. And I think yung pinaka-lastly na recently dito na recently in-implement namin is really to normalize ang experiments. Parang we turn the organization into like parang agile org initiative wherein during the town hall we announced na we'll be running experiments all throughout this year, including adapting AI tools. So, kapit kayo. Kasi it's gonna be fast. We're gonna roll out things quick. And yun, parang piniprepare na namin sila na ito yung mga experiments na plan nating i-run. So, sobrang exciting times. Now na dami ngayon nangyayari, 'di ba? May mga layoffs, adoption ng mga new technology. So, I wish ano siya.
Yes.
Ayun, at the end of the day,
So-
parang
Hope for
I
the
wish na it
best.
can be-
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
hope for the
So
best.
if you
Be
are
done immediately.
listening,
Yeah.
these are our tips and also our personal experiences when we deal with organizational change. So whether or not you are an IT manager, an employee na nag-aalangan or kinakabahan or na-anxious kung would I still have a career, a job, or how would I communicate this to my employees? Because at the end of the day, as what we have said, everyone is human. We are bound for failure, but this gives us an opportunity for change and growth. So good luck and looking forward for your guys' take as well in this episode of Kaka Computer.